Hi, the SI meteorologist. Paul Dorian here on Thursday, September 5th. A pleasant morning here in the Mid-Atlantic region. A cool frontal system will pass through the area by this afternoon. The winds will pick up this afternoon, and the coolest air of the season so far will move in for tonight. Low temperatures this time tomorrow morning will be in the mid to upper 40s in many of the northern and western suburbs of the I-95 corridor big cities, the coolest morning so far this season. It'll remain quite comfortably cool tomorrow with high temperatures only in the low 70s in many mid-Atlantic locations. Temperatures will rebound rather quickly on Saturday as the high pressure responsible for this next outbreak of cool air moves from overhead later on tonight and tomorrow to offshore this weekend, and that will allow for a quick rebound in temperatures on Saturday afternoon to high temperatures right around the 80-degree mark. But then another cool front moves through the Mid-Atlantic region on Sunday, paving the way for somewhat cooler weather again early next week. Finally, we get back to a warm and humid pattern, it looks like, by the middle part of next week. Well, before we get to the local weather situation, we have a tropical update. We now have a new tropical storm named Gabrielle. It's sitting right here over the Caribbean, right near Puerto Rico. This is a water vapor imagery loop from the GOES satellite, GOES East satellite. Here's Puerto Rico right here. This is Gabrielle. It's got sustained winds at about 40 miles per hour. A couple of things kind of holding it back from developing. One is, of course, it's right near the islands here, right near land. And there's a couple of areas here kind of competing for strength. Here's one area right here, and here's another little circulation center right in this region right here. So there's a little bit of competition in the atmosphere. It is right near land right now. It looks like it'll tend to drift to the north over the next couple of days into this area of dry air. So there's a couple different factors kind of holding it back. We'll see if it develops into a hurricane. We have yet to have an official hurricane this season, and we're starting to get into the time of the year where it's almost record-breaking, the fact that we have not had a hurricane yet, and here we are in the early part of September in the Atlantic Basin without a hurricane. This is a tropical storm, 40 miles per hour sustained winds, still quite a ways away from hurricane strength. We'll monitor it over the next few days. Here's a current look at the radar around Puerto Rico, and it certainly can tell that there's a circulation center right in this region right here. The eastern part of the island of Puerto Rico is certainly getting dumped on with some heavy rain. Some of the other islands here like St. Croix and St. Thomas right here in the Caribbean also getting heavy rain. This will spin around for the next few hours and slowly drift to the north over the next couple of days. Well, back to the continental U.S. with the latest surface map, and yet again another Canadian-born high-pressure system right here over the northwestern part of the Great Lakes region. It's dropped south and east from southwestern Canada, and we've had a series of these highs over the summer months. And here is the next cool front getting ready to drop southward. There's some clouds associated with it. It's mostly clear right now this morning in the suburbs of Philadelphia, but we ought to see some clouds shortly, and it certainly can be partly sunny skies in the midday period into the afternoon, and the breeze will pick up out of the northwest post-frontal system later on this afternoon. That'll be the signal that cooler air is moving in, indeed the coolest air of the season so far. Those winds will die down tonight as this high moves overhead, and we really have a perfect setup for temperatures to really drop rapidly this evening, with high pressure moving overhead, clear skies, and the winds becoming calm by later on after dark. And again, temperatures tomorrow morning will be the coolest so far this season in most mid-Atlantic and northeastern locations, with the 40s likely in the suburbs of the big cities. Well, before we take a look at a couple of surface forecast maps from last night's GFS model run, let's look at the upper air pattern, because this really tells the story about not only what's going on right now, but what will change by the middle part of next week. Quite a cool pattern here in the northeast for the next few days, but we will get back to warm and humid weather by the middle part of next week, and we can see exactly what's going on here by looking at the 500 millibar pattern. This is about 18,000 feet up in the atmosphere. Here's a deep trough in the southeastern part of Canada. This is helping to swing this next cool front through the mid-Atlantic region. It'll drive to the south and east over the next 24 hours or so. Meanwhile, deep upper level ridge sitting and spinning out over the southern Rockies. Very hot weather in Denver, for example. They'll reach the low to mid 90s once again today. Quite warm as well across Southern California, all thanks to this ridge. But this trough is keeping the northeastern part of the country cool. In fact, the coolest air yet this season is moving in this afternoon, and especially will be noticeable tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Now let's jump ahead to the middle of next week. This is actually the forecast map for the 500 millibar level for Tuesday night of next week, and a big change in the pattern here for the Mid-Atlantic region. Excuse me, that low pressure in southeastern Canada is swinging off to the north and east. High pressure starting to build back in. This will allow for southwesterly flow of air in the lower part of the atmosphere to return quite warm and humid air to the Mid-Atlantic region. By about Tuesday of next week, we'll start to feel an increase in humidity, especially by Wednesday. It'll be back to warm and humid, but that's following very chilly weather for this time of the year for tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Relatively pleasant, cool conditions for the weekend, and then another cool front brings in a cool shot for Monday and part of Tuesday. Again, by Tuesday afternoon, we'll start to feel increasing humidity, and especially by Wednesday of next week, this pattern will bring back warm and humid air to the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's take a look at a couple of computer forecast maps at the surface for the next couple of days. This is from last night's 0Z GFS model run for tomorrow morning. High pressure just sitting right on top of the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, we have conditions tonight should be rather favorable for the temperatures to drop rapidly. The winds this afternoon out of the northwest will die down rapidly after sunset. We'll have clear skies, calm conditions, high pressure sitting right on top of us with a cool, dry air mass moving in. Temperatures tomorrow morning should be in the 40s in most Mid-Atlantic locations along the I-95 corridor, at least the suburban locations. Upstate places like Pennsylvania and the Poconos, for example, should drop into the 30s, and frost is very likely in many of those areas up across upstate Pennsylvania, upstate New York, for example. Frost by tomorrow morning, and it'll stay refreshingly cool during the afternoon tomorrow with high temperatures only in the low 70s in many of the Mid-Atlantic I-95 corridor locations, and again a chilly night for tomorrow night. Finally, let's take a look at the Saturday morning forecast map. High pressure still sitting on top of parts of the Mid-Atlantic coastal region. A cool morning again early Saturday morning, but later on in the day this high tends to drift offshore, and that will allow for a little bit milder air to return. Saturday afternoon temperatures should rebound quite rapidly. Still very comfortable for this time of the year, but highs right around the 80-degree mark and perhaps in the low 80s on Sunday before yet another cool front moves through, cooling us off again for Monday of next week. But again, longer term, it looks like warm and humid weather will return to the Mid-Atlantic region and may stick around for a while also. It returns by the middle part of next week. Well, that's it for now. For the SIWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.